Alright, hey guys, I hope everyone is doing well. This is Rudy. Hey, tonight's going to be another Bible study, and I just like talking about the Bible, and I learned from your comments too, so I'm interested in your comments if you have any to add. Also, some of you guys have sent me like long, multiple hours worth of videos, and I try to watch them as I have time. You know, we all have daily busy lives, and so I try to go through and watch them, but what I've noticed and what I've learned is, let me give you an example. I once had a Muslim friend and I said, well, I'll read the Quran if you'll read the Bible. Well, I read the Quran, right? But he never read the Bible. So I'm not trying to get on anybody's case, but it's like I've recommended books that state my position on things, but yet I don't hear any feedback about the content of the books. But yet I'm expected to go watch these multiple hours worth of videos. And so my position, right, on certain topics are identified in the books that I mention. And I'll mention them again. And I think a very critical issue is the identity of Israel and how we identify Israel, how we identify what a Jew is. And I've said this multiple times, but my position on Israel is identified in this book right here. Who is Israel by Bacha Wooten, okay? Who is Israel by Bacha Wooten? And, you know, everything that I align with is in that book. And there's another book that I'm about halfway done, and it's written by Bacha's husband. It's called Restoring Israel's Kingdom, and it even has a chapter called Who is a Jew? And so far, I think he's right on the money, and especially about the timing of the tribulation. You know, Restoring Israel's Kingdom by Angus Wooten, who's Bacha's husband. And I'm very concerned that, you know, the people that are preaching pre-tribulation, man, they're gonna have a lot of discomfort when they realize that, you know, the pre-tribulation bus ain't gonna be showing up till after the tribulation. Just my opinion, you know. Hey, I could be wrong. I want to read you guys something from Samuel, because I got some feedback that, you know, when I said that once our president is beheaded once our so-called president, who's not really our president, who did a coup d'etat, who's actually an illegal alien, once he's convicted in a court of law, that he should be beheaded for what he's done, because he's usurped the power of commander-in-chief, got our nuclear codes, setting anti-biblical, anti-American, anti-God policies all throughout the United States, saying we're no longer a Christian nation, promoting same-sex marriage. All the stuff he's doing is just, you couldn't have designed. I think he's by design trying to destroy America. And the people that are compromising and don't call it out are actually helping him. And I throw Ron Paul into that category. You know, I've got that video, and I can only offer these coins until the end of June. I can't have the coins offer go on forever, and I doubt he's going to contact me. I hope he does. If he contacts me, I will more than gladly help set up an event, and I'll bring in all the people that I can bring in, a coalition of the willing, and, you know, but, you know, I haven't heard a peep. And I've sent him emails of the video on his website. I've sent him emails, and I've tried to call his office, and you know, so I don't know. You know, here's the deal. I think people think they can compromise with evil, and they settle and they sell part of their soul when they do that. And I just don't believe in compromise. And look, I'm not here to toot my own horn. I really am not. But I made a video back in April of 2011. The title of the video was "To Hell with Ron Paul," and I actually burned one of his books. You know how I made a decision and a discernment about Ron Paul that quick back in April? Was when I heard him say that the birth certificate issue and the eligibility of our so-called president was not important. That immediately showed me where his foundation is. And his foundation wasn't in the Constitution. He's supposed to be a protector of the Constitution, right? And he's not even going to ask any questions about the eligibility of this Kenyan-born ineligible usurper, and he doesn't think that's important. And the fact all throughout his campaign he's never, look, I know Ron Paul has a track record. I don't want to beat up on him too bad. I know a lot of you guys love him. In 2008, man, I was his biggest fan. It was terrible for me to watch him go down in flames in 2008. and I ain't gonna get upset. I don't put my faith and trust in any men anymore. I put my faith and trust in the King James Bible. That's what I'm standing on. And so when men let me down, it's like, well, yeah, you know, another man let me down. It ain't no big surprise. The Bible told me that would happen. But God won't let me down. And Job said, even if they slay me, I'm going to trust in the Lord. So I'm just not going to be let down by Rand Paul or Ron Paul, the fact they're compromising. I don't know what Ron Paul's going to do. I hope he comes out and gives a speech. And I hope he goes third party, and I hope he goes full-blown birther, right? That's what I hope he does. I hope he, meets with Sheriff Arpaio, Orly Tates, Pastor James David Manning, Pastor Gallups, Lieutenant Colonel Terry Lakin, Commander Kirshner. I hope he meets with all these people. But, I'd be glad to help set it up. But, I don't, it just doesn't look like he's going to do that. It looks like he's going to try to compromise, and he's going to play. The Bible tells us that you can't serve two masters. Right? A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. I'm not compromising, even at the point of death. I don't say that in a braggadocious way. It's just, my soul. It says, the Bible says, fear not those who can kill the body, but those who can kill the body and the soul. And so my soul is more important than my physical life. I'm not compromising, folks. And I know that there are many that are out there that aren't compromising either, but we're stuck in this fairy tale land of compromising leaders. And, it's sad, but I want to read 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 49 through 51. This is some great verses. People tell me that, my beheading thing was over the top and I shouldn't have did that, and I'm not a good example of a Christian. And look, the difference between me and a lot of other folks is when I read the Bible, I believe it, right? And I get a lot of inspiration from it. And I love the Bible. Man, when I read the Bible, it's like a great story. It's like a great inspiration, great comfort. Let me read you guys this verse here, the story of David and Goliath. I know you guys have heard this story, but let me just reiterate it one more time from the King James Bible. And David put his hand in his bag and took thence a stone and slang it. Man, he slang it. And smote the Philistine in his forehead, and the stone sunk into his forehead. Can you imagine that he threw the stone so hard that it sunk into Goliath's forehead? And he fell upon his face to the earth. Man, that's a beautiful image, isn't it? The enemies of God falling upon their face in the earth. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine, and slew him, but there was no sword in the hand of David. Therefore David ran, and stood upon the Philistine, and took his sword, and drew it out of the sheath thereof, and slew him, and cut off his head. Did you hear that, folks? Don't tell me that it ain't biblical for godly men to behead the enemies of God. That's exactly what David did to Goliath, okay? And cut off his head therewith. And when the Philistines saw their champion was dead, they fled. So that is a perfect example of a godly man who stepped up and beheaded the enemy of God. So don't tell me that that's not biblical, okay? Anyway, I love the Bible, man. I just love the Bible. Okay. Our church this Wednesday talked about Luke chapter 16. I want to go through it. I want to read verses 1 through 13. And I want to ask you guys what you guys get out of this. And I want to tell you guys quickly what I get out of it. But let me read it real quickly. It's Luke chapter 16. I think it's how to be a steward, be a good steward of the resources that you have. But we'll get into that. And he said also unto his disciples, there was a certain rich man which had a steward, and the same was accused unto him that he had wasted his goods. And he called him and said unto him, how is it that I hear this of thee? Give an account of thy stewardship, for thou mayest be no longer steward. Then the steward said within himself, what shall I do? For my Lord taketh away from me the stewardship. I cannot dig, to beg I am ashamed. I am resolved what to do, that when I am put out of the stewardship, that they may receive me into their houses. So he called every one of his Lord's debtors unto him, and said unto the first, how much owest thou unto my Lord? And he said, 100 measures of oil. And he said unto him, Take thy bill, and sit down quickly, and write 50. Then said he to another, How much owest thou? And he said, 100 measures of wheat. And he said unto him, Take thy bill, and write 80. And the Lord commended the unjust steward, because he had done wisely. For the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of the light. Man, that's a powerful verse there. It just said that the children of this world, we're told not to be of this world, right? Be ye in this world, or we're in this world, but we're not of it. This said the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of the light. And he's talking about stewardship here. So I think, and to me, what that verse means is that wicked people know how to make money better than Christian folks, right? And that's just apparent, right? How many rich Christian billionaires do you see? You don't see that many. And I say unto you, make to yourselves friends. Okay, this is a powerful verse too. Verse 9. And I say unto you, and this is the Lord speaking, and I say unto you, make to yourself friends of the mammon of unrighteousness, that when ye fail, they may receive you into everlasting habitations. He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much, and he that is unjust in the least is unjust also in much. If therefore ye have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, who will commit to you your trust the true riches? And if ye have not been faithful in that which is another man's, who shall give you that which is your own? No servant can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. And that's what I would have to say to all these compromising politicians. You can't serve two masters. The Bible makes it very clear. You can't compromise with these evil bastards. You just can't do it. You're on a road to destruction. And Ron Paul, you should have stood up for the birth certificate, man. You still got a little bit of time, but it's not looking like you're going to have whatever it takes. I hope you do. You can't compromise with these bastards. You can't be endorsing Mitt Romney, Mormon Mitt Romney. I ain't going to vote for him. I don't know what I'll do. If I have a choice between a homosexual Muslim usurper Kenyan that ain't even an American citizen, not legal, not eligible to pick tomatoes in Florida, or Mormon Mitt Romney, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might just go in and I might write Dr. Wiley S. Drake or Dr. Lori Roth, or I don't know, but I ain't going to vote for Mormon Mitt Romney. I ain't voting for him. I'm not doing it. I ain't voting for Mormon Mitt Romney. I ain't going to do it. I ain't going to do it. No way. I don't know what I'll do, but I ain't voting for a Mormon. Ain't going to happen. So, that Luke chapter 16, and that's just part of the chapter 16, said you can't serve two masters. That's one of the things. The other thing, it says make friends with righteous unmammon. To me, that means to be a good steward with the crap money that we have. Whatever has been entitled or entrusted to you with our crap money, our unrighteous mammon, the Lord wants to see that you're a good steward with that. And if you're not even a good steward with the mammon that we have here on earth, how's he going to trust you with the riches up in heaven, right? If you can't take care of the 50 bucks you're getting from your job, how are you going to take care of the gold and silver treasures that he has lined up for you in heaven? So he's saying to be a good steward while you're here on earth, so that when you get to heaven, I can trust you with more important stuff. That's to me what that means. And then also it says that it said somewhere in there, well, I mean, there's all kinds of things in this chapter. I'm interested in what you got to say, but one of them is to be a good steward, and if you're going to be trusted with a little, you got to be trusted with a little before you can be trusted with a lot, and you can't serve two masters. God bless every one of you, and have a great day.